If you are thinking about buying an $800,000 house in Maitland, Florida, you might be wondering what is the true cost of living in Maitland. I'm going to break down not just your mortgage, but your HOA, your taxes, your insurance, utilities, and also some lifestyle costs of living in Maitland. Living in Central Florida, the price of the home is really only just the beginning, so I'm going to break down all of your costs so that you have no questions about what it's going to cost you in reality to live in Maitland. So if you're not familiar with Maitland, Florida, it is outside of Orlando. It is a very suburban, whatever, outside of Orlando, Florida. It is a very desirable area. There are fantastic schools. It butts up right to Winter Park, Florida, which maybe if you're watching this video, you've heard about Winter Park. And Winter Park's prices are just, they're insane because everyone wants to live in Winter Park, but Maitland is kind of a gem right next to Winter Park. They share a lot of the same school zones, so if you're in the right area, you can still benefit from living in Maitland for everything that you are looking for in Winter Park without the price tag. Now, don't get me wrong, Maitland is still a pretty penny, especially if you're in certain neighborhoods that share the same school zones as the Winter Park school zones, which that is a limited amount. There's no more land in Maitland to start building these houses on, so you're going to be buying resale. The really cool thing about Maitland is that it is a mix of like mid-century modern homes, ranch style homes, waterfront homes. We have some really beautiful lakes, and also people are tearing down these homes and building a brand new home. So I'm going to show a few examples of what an $800,000 house looks like in Maitland, Florida. You are going to get a very typical ranch style home. You're going to get it in probably one of the neighborhoods that you're looking for, which might be Domerick if you're looking to get into the Winter Park school zones. This could be a 3-2 or a 4-3 with a pool that's decently updated. So you're looking pretty good if your budget is $800,000. These houses are going to move pretty quick on the market, and right now between These houses are going to move pretty quick on the market, and right now between $750,000 and $900,000, there's only 3 that are active. And out of those 3, there's only 2 that are in Domerick, which is where a lot of people, whenever they move to Maitland, they have their eyes on. So today we have a historical low interest rate for the year at 6.55%. Wow. That is an absolute miracle, and I'm trying to shout it from the rooftops. But if you were to put down 20% on an $800,000 house, your principal and interest would be a little bit over $4,000 a month. Now, I am no mathematician, and I am also not a lender, and I really like to let the lenders do their thing. So if you have any questions about what that number could look like at a higher interest rate, or maybe a lower down payment, or even a higher down payment, DM me and I'll connect you with one of my local lenders. But of course, that's not all that there is to pay on a monthly basis. So of course, that's your principal and interest, which is going to be the biggest chunk of everything. But if you're throwing your taxes into there, that's going to be another fee. If you're throwing in your utilities, that's going to be another fee. Lawn maintenance, a pool company, that's going to be another fee. So let's go over those costs. Florida property taxes usually run about 1.1 to 1.3% of your sales price, your assessed value, actually, not your sales price, your assessed value. If you have any questions about the difference, just message me or put a comment below. We're looking at the 1.1%. That's about $8,800 for the year. That goes into your monthly payment if you got a loan on the property, and that comes out to be about $733 a month. Now, Florida has something really cool called a homestead exemption. So if you homestead your property, you do get a little bit of a discount on your taxes. So if this is your primary residence, you're going to be paying a little bit less than that. That alone bumps up your monthly payment to about $4,800, $4,900 per month with your principal, your interest, and your taxes. And we're not quite done there. Of course, we're gonna have power, we're gonna have running water, all the good stuff, and that could run you anywhere from, I mean, it really depends on your personal preference, like how cold you keep your house, but anywhere between $350 to $700 a month. I would say a typical lawn maintenance person or pool person is going to run you about $100 to $200 a month each. And then of course you could have your HOA payment, which a lot of Maitland does not have an HOA, like Domerick does not have an HOA. So that's a really cool feature. I really like that about Maitland, actually. That way you're not paying an added fee, even though HOAs have their pros and cons. All in, I would say if you are buying an $800,000 house with your principal, your interest, your taxes, let's leave out an HOA, but your utilities, you're probably looking just under $7,000 a month, all in, everything on a maintenance plan. Now, of course, if you're doing your lawn, that's going to save you. If you're doing your own pool, that's going to save you. And a lot of people do. That's not something that's rare in our area at all. This is really going to depend on your homestead, your credit score, your down payment, you know, your taxes, all of that good stuff. So this is really going to be a general ballpark. Do not hold me to it. And of course, if you want a lender to really run your mortgage on this, please DM me. I have fantastic local lenders and they'll get you in with some of the best rates. Now let's talk about the stuff that will not be with your home. Let's talk about just lifestyle costs. So of course you're moving to Maitland. You probably are aware that Winter Park is close by. Maitland does have fantastic restaurants like Luke's and Francesco's and Antonio's. I almost forgot about Antonio's. Now, none of these are necessarily going to break the bank, but they are higher end, so you're going to be paying a little bit more than maybe other areas in Orlando for a dinner. But if you're going into Winter Park, you're definitely going to be entering some high-end restaurants like Hillstone, the Chapman, Boca, and you could be spending a pretty penny on your weekly date nights. So living in one of the best parts of Central Florida can definitely cost you, but trust me, it is definitely worth it. If you have any questions about a home in this price point or a little bit more or a little bit less, feel free to reach out to me. I'm happy to give you a personalized home tour, or if you want me to run the numbers on a house that you're interested in, I would be happy to. Please feel free to leave a comment below or shoot me an email. Bye!